Well, hey everybody, it's Danny and Johanna, and I want to thank you for taking the time to talk about some things in your life that are not so easy.
Well, you're making me be on camera,
Yeah, I
just so you
am.
know.
So this is one of those marital things we agreed to when we got married. I have to work concerts for you, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and then she has to do stuff like this for me. So, um, but I just wanted to get right down into it. You've been through some stuff,
Hmm.
man. You've been through some good things,
Hmm.
some bad things. Both of us have. We've got Lily here, who is going to come and be a part of this. But just wanted to kind of get right into it. We're talking about daring faith, and I was talking about how faith, as cliche as it sounds, faith rises when we're at our lowest. How difficult times bring out sometimes the survivor in us.
Hmm.
And I know that you've got some difficult times you've been through that you've said to me, like, don't nobody want to hear about this. But we've been places where you've maybe kind of shoved you into talking about it. And it turned out that people did need to hear about it. And I think the people here today would love to hear some of what. So,
Well, in 2002, we moved to Memphis, and a few months later, my 11-month-old daughter passed away. I won't get into the details, but I remember being so angry at God because I had just started going back to church. I had just started coming back to my faith, and then He takes my 11-month-old daughter, and I had a 2.5-year-old son that I had to raise in addition to that. So I really didn't have time to mourn and do what I wanted to do because I had to raise him, and I was so angry at God, but then I couldn't think of a reason why I shouldn't have him in my life. I was running to the person I was angry at, and it was confusing, but I just felt like he was my only comfort at the time. And then a few years later, I was in the middle of a really bad divorce, and once again, angry at God. And there's that 7-year-old now that I have to raise. And I didn't know what to do. I was a single mom working part time at a church and not even making enough money to pay my mortgage, but somehow God made a way. And even though I was so angry and so hurt and I couldn't figure out what to do next, the only thing left to do was to look up. And that's what I did.
thank you. When you looked up and you talked about that moment, what was really going on with you were in a fight with God in a way, right? I mean, you felt
Yeah, if
like
I had him in front of me, I probably would have fought him.
yeah, because
But
in the church world, I know that we sometimes talk about oh he's going to work it out for good, and people say things
yeah,
and they mean well,
sure.
but
You
you
don't want to hear that at the time. You're going through some horrific grief, whether it's the
yeah
loss of a child or the loss of a marriage or the loss of a parent, which happened the year before my divorce. You don't want to hear all that. You just want comfort.
yeah
And
yeah
I didn't have the luxury of finding comfort in something else like alcohol or drugs. Or
because you had to
that really
raise
wasn't a
your other
luxury
kid.
either. That's silly, but I had a child to raise. I had to make sure we ate, which sometimes I didn't. So
Mm.
even though I was in a fight with him, he was the only source of my comfort. My favorite Bible verse is Psalm 32:7. You are my hiding place from every storm in life. And whenever life hit me really hard, which was a lot back then, that's what I did. I kind of crawled up into his lap and said, Hey, I need you, Daddy. So can you help me through this? And turns out he did.
In closing, and thank you for sharing all of that because there's a whole lot we could unpack on that. Could be a 40-minute deal, and we will do a podcast about more about your story because there's
Making me be on
so
camera
much
again.
more on that. Yes, I'm going to fulfill more of your marital duties. Um, but in closing, real quick, for anybody that's here today listening to this,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they're in that kind of a spot with
Sure.
God and they're smiling on the outside, but they're falling apart on the inside, loss of a child, loss of a marriage, whatever the case may be, loss of a job, whatever we'd consider great or small, and in between, what would you, in the area of, hey, this is growing your faith, what would you say to that person that is in the middle of where you were at so many years ago?
It's okay to feel that way. You can bring it all to him. I mean, get angry with him if you want to. Get ready to fight him if you want to. He can handle it. He wants you to bring it to him. He already knows what you're feeling, so I try to put a smile on your face and fake it with him. You don't have to do that
Mhm.
at
That's
all. Just look. Sometimes it's easier and it's better to get in the backyard, to get in your car and just start yelling at him. I still do that sometimes,
Yeah,
and it's okay.
she does, and that's okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank
and
you.
Love you.
Love you more.